Well, hello there, my friends, and welcome! Long time no see. It's another episode of Draw with Mikey. I bloody hope you guys are doing well. It has been 3 or 4 weeks, I'm not 100% sure, since the last episode. I know I'm a terrible person, everything's awful about me, but what can I say? Final Fantasy 15 came out. I had to grab a PS4 and start playing that a bit. That was always going to mess with the schedule. I just had to take the hit. I do apologise. But Christmas is just that time of year where everything's hectic. I'm making excuses now. Get super busy. And then also, I was in a car crash. Don't worry, everybody. I'm absolutely perfectly fine, weirdly. But I completely wrote off my car. It's just a really hectic time. Like, that's only just recently happened. So many thanks for bearing with. It is a pleasure doing this one. I love this Wednesday show, actually. And kind of one of the more popular things on the channel these days. So that's great. But yes, I do need to get back into the flow of things. We need more drawing. We need more of the SAS coming back and the tutorials and stuff and ting. And I'm going to try to just force some fairly normal weeks before we hit into January of next year. Because I am taking not January off, but like it'll probably just be loads of Final Fantasy 15 whilst I work on some other projects. But I'm making a separate video all about that. Welcome one and all. So for those of you not in the know, this is a completely random whatever series where I draw whatever I want to draw in a sketchbook and we talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's my chance to catch up with you guys in the comments. That being said though, because it's been so long since we last actually did this, quite a few comments have gathered in the last episode, the Mecha Charmander one. And it means, well, yeah, I'm not going to read them all basically. I do apologise. We're going to skip and struggle through. Right, this is just, that baby steps thing, and then we get back into the flow. Timothy Messer says, to the Superman theory, as him being born super is not true. Right, so might as well give some context here. We talked a little bit about Superman being a reflection of a basis on society, and then the whole idea that maybe that wasn't the case at all, and that he was actually still always morally weak because he'd relied too much on his powers. But Timothy Messer has some opinions for basically being born on Krypton. He's not actually super. His powers are derived from Earth's yellow sun. Also, his ability to fly comes from the leech of gravity on Earth compared to the gravity on Krypton. So Superman did in fact acquire his powers and was not born with them, thus making him, by that methodology and thought process, one of the traditional superheroes. So that's a very good point, except the gravity bits, like, that doesn't mean you can fly, it just means you can jump loads, right? But, c'est vie. Although there is, by the looks of this, film theory on his powers as well, probably by the film theorists. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those days. And there's a whole conversation behind that, which is excellent, but I'll leave that to you guys. Mimi-kun says, hey Mikey, hello Mimi, about the Superman. Oh wow, I've really kicked something off here. What art style would an immortal person develop? I think yes, he'd master all the art styles, but what about his own style after 1,000 years of living? Do you think that he would draw in certain ways? It's 3 a.m, my question may not be understandable. I kind of get what you're going at. And by the way, you can change the colour of the interior of your car in Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, damn right you can! Yeah, it's so fucking good. I've learnt to bad boy it up. Don't worry, I've got like this slick white regalia at the moment, but that's a completely different side thing that will come through on the Final Fantasy 15 Let's Plays. After 1,000 years, wow, imagine, yeah, if you were like borderline immortal, but your only passion was art, you did nothing with immortality other than that. You could work through all the styles, understand art history and theory, but the real challenge is getting the confidence to find your own natural style. What would that be? How would it go? Who knows? I have no idea. What about you, Mimi-kun? If you lived forever, what would be your favourite art style? What would you settle on? Although I do notice you have an anime avatar, so I'm wondering if it might just be anime and manga. Michael Nemerorin says, hey Mikey. Hello Michael. I've never gotten into anime, but I love that style of drawing. Yeah, I know. It's the visual style was what started me off before generally just watching Japanese cartoons. But yeah, it's a fair point. What do you recommend I should watch to get you into it? Love your artwork, bro. Thank you very much. And we've got loads of people commenting on here, which is great. Thank you very much, Wow Devon, who's kind of really helped out. And talking about websites which allow, I'm assuming, illegal or unlicensed downloading for anime. So I won't promote them, although I am certainly aware of them. So I'm glad you guys got into that own discussion. But in terms of getting into anime, oh god, what would be a good starting point? I'd say go with a classic like Cowboy Bebop. Sit through the first, in fact, go straight to episode 4. That's famously the best starting one. Or sit through the first 4 episodes of Cowboy Bebop. If that doesn't do it for you, try a completely different type of anime off somebody else's suggestion. And if you can't find it from there, you never are going to. But there are some great classics which stand the test of time and are so entertaining. So I'm going to say, for a first timer, until I come up with something better, that is, because I'm just shooting off the top of my head, Cowboy Bebop, sir. Cowboy Bebop. Crescent Sounds. Hey, Mikey. Hello, Crescent. Can you do a video on how to draw realistic smoke? It would be awesome. Yes, I will. I'll add it to the list. And Antoine Deander says, hey, sir. Hello, Antoine. I'm working on some commissions. One that is a shirt design for my co-worker's son for Christmas. Hashtag hardcore crew. I'm really tired today, so if I sound like I'm just speaking like a retard, hashtag not hating people with actual learning disabilities, let's not get into that whole side thing. It's because I'm just absolutely shattered. And really weirdly, like, my really big mug that I like to drink from is, well, it's just filthy, basically. So I've got a... Can you even hear that? There we go. I've got a normal-sized mug, which by comparison is in fact tiny. And instead of being filled with good tea, it's filled with green tea. Because I'm trying not to be such a disgusting big arsehole these days. I'm trying to get back on, not the healthy band, but just not the living awfully band. So if I sound miserable, it's because I don't have the delicious taste of tea swirling around the back of my mouth every now and then. So awesome. I'd love to see it. Get a photo going, Antoine, or up it to Instagram or something. If you're doing shirt designs, that's the coolest freaking thing. And yeah. My God, Christmas is the time for commissions, right? I've had to stop taking any. I can't take any more commissions until January. And I had to stop that in the end of November because I was just booked out. And that sounds like I might be really busy or popular. It's not the case at all. It just means I have very little time each week to do anything. So it just fills up very quickly. But yeah, God, it is all going on. And I can't wait for 2016 to be over. What a fucking year. Wild Devon says, hey Mikey, it's me, Wild Devon. I was wondering if you could talk about shading hair and highlights. Yeah, and I know, right? So the things that we've been missing out on, but I haven't quite gotten round to doing, is by now I'd plan to actually get at least 2 different types of anime hair videos out the way, and another type as well for the drawing tutorials. So it's still on the list. The game plan is all there. We've just had this massive break where I've just been like, oh man, life is just throwing a lot of stuff about right now. Something's going to have to give. And unfortunately, there was a few of these YouTube videos. That is kind of a fun of a hobby that you do when you're like your own boss. Because I can basically stop doing the videos, like send out a few tweets just apologizing and hope for the best. I'm not going to get fired from anything. Certainly you lose revenue, but I kind of do this because I enjoy it first. I'm not doing it just as a business because then it would be work again and then it wouldn't be fun. And that doesn't make sense to me. Fallen Dark Angel of Death says, hashtag hardcore crew, hashtag sorry for the spam. Just getting your face out there. Why not? Thanks for listening in. If you guys listen real late into the videos, we have a few hashtag hardcore shouts. And Raymond Wang says, random comment coming through. I can draw faces from scratch decently, bodies decently, but when I try to put them together, I either get chibi abominations when I don't want to, like bodies with a head a tad bit too large, or I get full muscle men. Could anyone please help? Yeah, check out the tutorial I've done on head heights and proportions. Next question. Xavier Frost says, hi Mikey. Hello Xavier. What kind of tea do you fancy, mate? Oh man, you're making me sad. I've just said... I'll tell you what tea I fancy. I fancy a fucking pyramid bag PG Tips. Yeah, I'm not like some super posh tea drinker. I'll go for something common, but the magic of a pyramid bag is the tea leaves get to float around, and I quite like PG. I've grown up on it. That or Taifu is actually quite nice. But what I've got here is like Tetley green. It's not even like posh ancient sticks drawn from the earths of South America or Aruba or something. It's just Tetley green tea. Still comes in a tea bag. Tastes like unhappiness and disappointment. Great. Junior Anthony was third to watch the last video from Way Way Back, so well done for getting in early. You must be part of the notification squad. And the last panda says, how do you decide to do some lines thicker than others? Is it the same thing you talked about in your inking with different line weights video? By the way, love your personality and your accent. Keep on going. Thank you very much. I have a terrible nasal voice, but I'm glad you like those tones. So, line weight. Yeah, I did an inking and line weight video. And I would say that video is like 8 out of 10 good advice, but it doesn't quite cover everything. To be fair, I made that video a long time ago. And when it comes to thicker lines, there's this whole thing about where you have 2 materials that just before they touch cast incredibly heavy shadows. When they're touching, they're very thick lines, and when they're squeezing together or merging, it then becomes a very thin line that might not be complete to show they're 2 materials squashed together. There's all this different thinking about objects and relationships to each other just in the anime manga style alone, in terms of how you're going to make it all squeeze in. So yeah, personally, I like to, in a very basic sense, block out zones and areas. The hair might have an ever so slightly thicker overall outline, ever so slightly that is, than the rest of the face or the body, or the clothing might have an ever so slightly thicker outline. Especially if there's lots of patterns and frills, I'll outline the edge a bit more just to show that's one solid item so the eye doesn't get overly confused. Because really the reason you're doing it is to help the reader's eye understand what's going on the page as easily as possible. If you have an image that's too cluttered and confused, reading it becomes a bit more difficult. But yeah, we'll have to get into some more detail in the future. Joel, Mikey, real talk. All right, mate. If you added a badass mecha to today's sketch, it would be a snapshot of what got me into anime. Christ, I want a Isa remake now. Raises his amaretto glass. Super enjoyed this one. Thanks. Oh, yeah. So like, Isa, I-C-Z-E-R. Is this ringing a bell? Is this I-C-Z-E-R? New tab. Google search. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, yeah, and so right, this is a thing. So, like, when I was just having a quick go of these Mecha Charmander ideas, literally just something that's rattling in my head, and I thought, oh, that'll go in a sketchbook. I was looking at loads of retro anime sort of styles with the big, like, haircuts and the super big eyes and really simplified mechanics and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's where some of my drawing came from as well, and now that you mention it, like, it wasn't Isa I was working from, but that is exactly the kind of type of anime, that particular time that I was working about. Oh, man. You know, Joel, you've just got my juices flowing for actually downloading a load of, legally, obviously, downloading a load of, like, 80s classic space anime and stuff like that. And just, because a lot of it, the story's so bad, and the English dub's really bad as well. But just watching some of that really dark stuff, I could really get into that, actually. That might be my thing of choice as a gentleman at night over Christmas with the whiskey. Get into some old school cyberpunk stuff as well. Elite Ghost Kills, walk through the gameplays and more. What a name. In my primary school, we used to do that fucking line thing every time we were looking for somebody to play with. Oh, yeah. Who wants to play it? I won't sing it for ages. Did that for like half a break time, and then you play Duck Duck Goose or Cops and Robbers. Don't judge me. It's right. I've never played Duck Duck Goose. That might be maybe more American than English. Cops and Robbers, obviously, we know. Also, what sketchbooks do you use, and can you draw anybody from an anime called Nanbaka, or someone from Monster Mizumi, Tokyo Ghoul, Gekken Shoujo, Naizo Kan, Parasite, Bleach, or Rocker? No, you sure. That's quite a list of anime, I'm sure. We'll get around to some of these things, and also DeviantArt link for my opinion. Because we're in such a rush today, I will not be clicking those links, not on camera, so to speak, but I will definitely check it out and have a look at what you've got going on a little bit later, because I like browsing your artwork. To answer your question, bear with me, I'm going off piste again. Just a minute. Just a minute. Here we go. Don't worry, I'm back. So, like, I've answered this question 100 times before, but I don't really mind. It's not a tea drinking one, simply because I really like this sketchbook. I'm using a Derwent, don't worry, I don't work for them or anything. Derwent A4 sketchbook is what I use in this series. And the reason why it's good is because it's spiral bound, which means you can fold your pages all the way around. You don't have to deal with bending paper on a spine. It's actually perforated, so you can pull out the page. Not that you'd ever want to tear it out, but you can. And it has a slot in the back where you can put loose papers. And, I don't know if this makes any noise, a rubber band type thing around it which keeps it shut. It is a very good sketchbook. I bought two because I like them so much. So yeah, grab yourself some supplies if you want to get involved. They're not super cheap, but they're not crazy expensive. If you live in England, you can get them at W.H. Smith. I don't know how that translates for people in the States, but look it up. Look it up, sir. Trent Burrows says, I'd like to know how to shade with a pencil. If he has, can someone please link it? You're going to have to search through my tutorials list, but I have actually talked about different ways of shading with a pencil. I've literally done a tutorial on that. So, mate, have a look. Although you asked this question 3 weeks ago, so you might have found it since then, seeing as this episode is so late to actually continue on with the DWM series. Penguinicon said, or Penguinicons? Can you do a Kankol ep or how to draw Tenryu? That would be sweet. I will copy paste, add that to my to-do list. And Karina Thomas says, hey Mikey, your voice is awesome. Oh, thank you very much, Karina. Can you draw a BDSM scene from Antigua? So, BDSM. Probably gonna have to do a really safe version of that, such as how to draw or how to color or show the materials and textures of leather, and we could dress up a character appropriately. Although recently I was just reading up on One Punch Man, and I was just reading up, kind of catching up towards the end of the manga. So spoiler alert, by the way. I'm reading through the bit where the Monster King is underground and he's sending all the high level monsters up to the surface, like to all the cities at once. And what was it? Like basically one of the characters, I can't even remember what her powers were. She fights, oh shit, I can't remember anyone's name. She fights a psychic woman and turns all of her men into slaves. And she's kind of like got a whip or something, but she's dressed like a BDSM kind of character. And I remember seeing that and thought, oh man, I've got to do an SAS of that. So we'll see in the future. But it's got to be safe for work, everybody. We're learning to draw everything. We just happen to have started with them hot anime babes. Busy Dreaming says, who wants to play? Oh, the memories. Yep, indeed. And Senyo Gotoku says, I like just how you draw whatever comes to mind without any issues. Teach me your ways. Oh, I get issues with drawing all the time, just like everybody else. Don't you worry about that. I mean, right now, what did I just do in a sketchbook? So, oh yeah, I bought myself a how to draw book, believe it or not, because actually I bought quite a few. Because it's coming up to Christmas and I don't have much by the way of actual family, so I just get to give myself presents, which it turns out is way better than what everybody else does. So, it's got like loads of basic stuff, loosening up and going with flow and form and not being too rigid and stuff. And it never hurts to cover the basics, no matter where you are with your drawing life. So I had a look at that, and so I thought I'd just grab out the blue pen and just sketch up some really loose humanoid forms, and then just work in some ideas with a black ink pen. Now, it didn't actually take that long to do, and to be fair, the camera stopped recording whilst I was watching a video in the background. I didn't notice, so a little chunk of it just magically gets filled in. So then I just grabbed like a page in the sketchbook that was failed, and I had a failed page from the Mecha Charmander one. As in, I'd started drawing an idea for the Mecha Charmander that didn't make it into the last DWM, and that's the power of having a sketchbook. It's not supposed to be perfect, so I scratched it out, didn't quite like what was going on, decided to start a new page, so I thought I'd just fill in the old page with some more general shapes, faces, line work, whatever. So in this particular episode, I kind of filled this page fairly quickly. I just start filling in the gaps in another page that's already got some kind of shitty picture on it. Mix it up. It's nice to go back through your sketchbook, especially for all the pages that you just think are shit or duds or failed or for whatever reason. A minute, give it a go. Go back for your sketchbook and then fill every gap you can with drawing. Just really fill it up, get your juices flowing, get the designs out. When you start drawing, and bear in mind, like, I hadn't drawn for a little bit other than like commission stuff in this sketchbook since the last DWM. It's been a while. So you've got to accept the fact that the moment you start drawing, you're going to be crap. It takes a while to loosen up. Even if you've got the skill, like it coasts for a little bit and then it goes into like cold storage. And then you have to, if you want to get back into it, like pull it out of the archives. And I'm literally talking about a skill that you almost drag back out of your fingers by drawing more and more. And then, oh yeah, I remember how to do this. And then it falls back into place. But if you haven't drawn for ages, it's not just a perfect, like, bang, you're back on it. So, yeah, don't get too disheartened or frustrated with stuff like that, guys, because it's always ups and downs. It's a very organic and subjective thing, which, you know, probably most of you are more than aware of by now, seeing as most of you quite like the drawing as well. Dragon Lore Studios says, Log Horizon would be the anime I'd be in. It would be the least dangerous anime. Oh, is that genuinely a not so dangerous anime? Because a lot of the questions we get are, if you could be in any actual anime in real life, what would it be in someone? And most of them are terrible answers, because they're all animes where characters die like every episode, or the situation's awful and stuff like that. So yeah, if you know ones which are just nice and gentle, like I know there's an anime about cooking, where like people just become chefs or something. So, I mean, I've never watched it, and I don't even know the name of it, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. It's one of those ones where everyone has an orgasm whenever they taste some delicious food. That sort of overly animated thing. But it doesn't strike me as a kind of anime where characters are dying off, so maybe that would be a good world to get into. Sip of tea! Oh god, I forgot it's not tea. Oh, why have I even made this? What am I doing? Abel Lopez says, Hey Mikey Mega Mega, I've seen all your videos, but could you do a video tutorial on how to draw sexy lips? Yes, I could. Yes, I must. It's on the to-do list. Thank you very much. No Name and a few other people want me to do Taka from BlazBlue, I'm assuming for an SAS, which I'm going to have to stop calling SAS. Eventually we're going to call it like, I don't know, Fan Art Friday. Something safer for work as we kind of like slowly mature this channel out of the gutter. But yeah, I'll have to add that to the list. Fardali says, amazing. Can you please draw Azuha Chigusa from Qualidia Code? I'm chewing up the names of these things. The anime world out there. Let's go into a new tab. Let's open Google image search. Paste and enter. Yeah, cool character design. Schoolgirl type. Oh. Every time, like, I kind of scroll through your anime suggestions, part of me just thinks, oh, please don't be porn. Please don't be porn. And so, like, there's loads of shots of this where it looks like an interesting anime, and then there's just one picture of her in a swimsuit. And I'm immediately just like, oh, no, oh, no. Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, that looks legit. Sure, let's add that to the list. I'll come back to it later. Let's keep scrolling through your comments because I got to keep the pace up. Oh, yeah, Udsway. So in the last DWM, I think I just started cracking up at something. I can't even remember what it was. But something obviously just broke me because you've timed it out. We'll come back to that. Some of you guys, like some of your comments, are all awesome. And then every now and then, one of you just comes out as something that's just so fucking stupid. Like, I love you guys. Like, it's such a good crowd. It's so cool getting people together who, like, just love drawing and anime and games and all that kind of thing. And it's nice to get an online community. And you're all like random people, like different ages from all over the world. And it's cool because it doesn't really matter who you are as a person. I don't really know you guys in real life, but we've all got similar interests. So we all kind of like get involved. But having said that, every now and then, one of you guys comes out with like something so ridiculously stupid, it breaks me. Like, it absolutely cracks me up. Usually it involves people gifting hentai and shit like that, which I fucking love, man. Oh, what a... No, I don't. I'm not saying I fucking love gifting hentai, but I love fucking hearing about you, like these ideas that you think are going to be okay. And I'm an older guy, like I'm in my 30s, so I'm just like, fucking hell, mate. There's no way. Like, nobody thinks like that. C'est la vie. D'Antinorm says, hi, Mikey. I'm making my series of YouTube Deviants with Potential. Love your style, Mikey. Keep it going. Thank you very much. Let's have to check out your DWP sometime, sir. And Robert Garcia says, Robin from One Piece is between 20 to 30-year-olds in one movie. Oh, in one movie she's 30, but no one's really sure about her age. Of course not. Once a lady kind of gets into that zone, she likes to keep her age a mystery. Hey, Mikey, and argue. Wait, what? Oh, Robert, whatever that was, it was probably a link to something incredible that we talked about 3 weeks ago. I've forgotten. But arguing online is nice. Oh, yeah, the waifu sex comment. Yeah, Luke's nailed it. And Luke, you motherfucker. Oh, you lured me in with some chat. And then also, when you're going to finally reveal to us what type of pen do you use? Let's sip this disgusting green tea. Oh, I'm not even going to explain what that kind of thing is all about anymore. I will explain it again one day because there's so many newbies joining in. But Salavi Necrovarius says, hey, Mikey. Oh, well played, sir. Well played. So, like, literally, Necrovarius's comment says, hey, Mikey. And then in brackets it says, hey, Necrovarius. Like, he knows you've already nailed exactly what I say to you guys. Oh, man. Good. Well played, sir. Well played. Hey, Mikey. Hey, Necrovarius. I will be attending VidCon this June in Anaheim, California. Oh, cool, dude. Have you ever thought of attending VidCon as a creator? I hope one day to meet you because you're awesome. Oh, thank you very much, sir. Trust me, I'm not awesome. I'm just some bloke. But as a creator, no, I'm not like some kind of super big creator. I'm still just a fanboy like most of you lot, if you know what I mean. I just happen to have a YouTube channel. And I haven't made anything of worth. Like, I do lots of videos here, and I'm really glad they help. But, like, you know, this is hardly making the world a better place. I'm just helping people to draw. Hopefully making lives a little bit better if, like, you find drawing de-stressful and stuff like that. I think it's really important, but not so important that I would consider myself a worthy creator for something like VidCon. But let me know how it goes. Like, stay in a DWM series and give us some feedback on it if it's any good. That Comic-Con I went to is the first ever geeky kind of event I've actually been to in my life, believe it or not. And it was alright. It was a mixed bag. I did quite like it, and I will probably go again. But yeah, it's not like a perfect thing. It's a long old day. But there's so much to see and do. You can't really ignore it. It's definitely worth turning up. Vixen Draws says, hopefully it isn't too late to ask a question. It's not, because I waited about 3 weeks before doing another DWM. Like an arsehole. This was an absolutely amazing episode. Really glad you liked it, the last one. The finished product looks fantastic. So, as for your questione, since we ask you to draw so many different nerdy, geeky anime things, what would you like us to draw? Oh, turned around Vixen draws. What would I like you guys to draw? Jesus, Lord of Thunder. Maybe that. Jesus, if he was the Lord of Thunder. I have no idea. I want you to draw whatever you guys want to, but something that challenges you a little bit. What does Mikey want to see you guys draw? I literally have no idea. But let's go for something shitty and obvious. It's Christmas, you delicious things. We've tried to pretend it's not here, but we're now halfway through December. There's nothing we can do about it. I would love to see you guys draw a little kind of like a heartfelt thing. Anything that shows people coming together, or the family, or the loved ones, or if you want to keep it a little bit naughty, maybe like a real sexy Mrs. Santa Claus or something like that. But something's around that. Why not make it just topical? I know that Christmas is just rammed down everybody's throats, but why not get on board every now and then? Something Christmassy, something about, the people you care about, something nice. I know that's a very vague thing, but yeah. And now I've just realised I'm probably going to have to do some like Mrs. Santa Claus SAS stuff as well, because if I don't, I'm missing the bus. Oh man, I haven't got time. When am I going to fit this in? Okay, I'm going to fit that in. I'm going to do my best. But all the Patreon stuff has got to come first, because I'm a bit behind with that. So that has to take priority. And then I'm going to fit in some other stuff. So bear in mind, the video uploading schedule for the rest of Christmas. Now that I've managed, hopefully, to get this DWM out in time. Might be Thursday. Hopefully it's Wednesday for you guys. Despite that, it's still not going to be a perfect run. There might not be a DWM next week. I'm going to really try to make sure there is, but it's not absolutely guaranteed, because it's busy times. And then January is going to be a little bit of a break, but I'm going to do loads of work in January. I'm not just sitting on my ass. So that when we run into February, with any luck, it's going to be real smooth sailing, he says, because, life gives you all sorts of challenges when you try to make plans. SleepyCat29 says, "Hi Mikey." Hello SleepyCat29. "I've just started watching your DWM show. Welcome, and I'm hooked." I feel so bad for you. You've managed to get hooked on like the last episode I did for a very, very long time. You have a great voice and great art. Thank you very much. You've inspired me to take my art more seriously, so thank you. That's awesome. Get involved with the art. Art is so much fun. And Tuashite says, 1997 is an awesome year indeed, Mikey. It is. For any of you who listen to me babble on, you'll know that I love 1997 for two big reasons. Radiohead's OK Computer album came out, one of the greatest albums ever made, arguably, and Final Fantasy VII hit UK stores. Great times. Anyhow, you're trying to... Oh, and it was also the year you were born. Oh, well done, sir. Well done for being alive. Also, I'm trying to do some dragon drawings whilst listening to your lovely, vibrant voice. Like, my voice is not... Like, you're all really, really kind, all you people on the internet, but my voice is not nice at all. It certainly annoys me. Anyway, regarding the shape-shifting ability, somebody mentioned, if you go after the Witcher books, there's a race called Dopplers who have the ability to copy the appearance of every living being they've ever seen, like doppelgangers, unlike it. Whilst doing so, they adapt the mindset and the abilities, including the magic of the copied life form. Oh shit, so it's like true doppelgangery. I know this isn't anime or manga, but Witcher is an awesome series. Dopplers. So imagine that, right? So this is kind of mental, but like, if you know somebody and then a creature comes along and that creature takes on their shape, like inside and out, so it's them, takes on their mentality, their ability, their memories, their personalities, and their cares, then are they just as good as a real friend? Like, if your real friend disappeared and this creature took over, never turned back into the creature, instead being a friend, is that still a different person to you? Or can you just treat them as your friend and just get over it and just move on? Or would it still be, to you, always a different creature that needed destroying or something like that? Odd things, odd things. I can't even remember what it is. It's something about a Greek ship where you replace a plank every now and then, but you keep the old one and you keep replacing it until you've got all the spare parts to build the original ship out of the original parts. But then you don't know if the other one is still the original that was kind of made from all the spare bits. That's a really bad explanation of something in philosophy, which, look it up. Get on the YouTube. It's good for that sort of thing. Strick Mind says, "Hey Mikey, love your stuff." Thank you very much, Strick. I was wondering if you've ever experimented with using dip pens. Once. So I've got like a few Tachikoma nibs here, which I haven't still had a go with. I should try practicing in Sketchbook actually next time. Oh, that's a very good idea. I'll try to remember that. I won't. I'll forget. So no, not much. Although I've always been so intrigued. Like, I really love manga artists who use dip pens. Like, I'm very jealous of how they get away with it because sometimes you get great line weights mixing in. And I'm also in awe of manga artists that actually still paint with ink. Like, they actually just use super fine watercolor brushes and just paint most of their things. Like, that's just so good. Like, I really want to kind of do some more of that. So yeah, let's have a play around with that. You love the variation in line weight that you can get from one stroke with them without having to change pens. So, strict mind, if you know your stuff with dip pens, have you uploaded any dip pen videos? Have you uploaded any artwork involving it? I'd love to see it because yeah, it's especially when you're into manga, like, you're inevitably going to get to a point where you have to try and play with dip pens just to give it a go, and I'm right on the cusp of having a little play. Lyrisan says, Mikey, short comment. Basically, want a DSE and an SAS for Hinata. And don't draw guys, we want girls and boobs. I will draw everything over time. All things will be drawn. All things will come under the power of my eye. Eventually. And Make Stuff says, pro boobs here. Yeah, Make Stuff. You know it, I've got them skills. Lelouch V Britannia says, if you're an immortal, people can just lock you up in a cage or something for the rest of your life. Yeah. Yeah, mate. But yeah, they can, but like, it's not a great outlook, is it? Like, so if you had the power of immortality, obviously the idea is you could do loads of things and it would be like a gift and really cool. And you're basically just saying, yeah, but if you got locked in a cage, you'd be stuck. Yeah, mate, but you know what? If you get locked in a cage today, you're still stuck in a cage with swings and roundabouts. So yeah, but yeah, I think there's more positive things to worry about. SSJ4 Broly says, what's up, Mikey? Hello, Super Saiyan J4. I don't know what the J stands for. I don't know that super extra long, extra Dragon Ball stuff that's getting tacked onto the end. What's up, Mikey? Anyway, you've been drawing with me for a while, and this is your first comment. Yay, you indeed, sir. Welcome. Get in the comments. I love fucking checking out what's going on with you guys. I must say, one of your favourite parts to my videos is the music during the time-lapse. Good taste in tunes. Oh, I'm very, very pleased. Anyway, got any plans, stroke ideas for a furry tutorial? Would be a fun way to diversify and expand. Whoop, whoop. So, no, and by the way, if you just heard a zip just then, just do this again so you can hear it. You probably heard that absolutely fine. That's a zip to my fleece that I'm taking off because my tea is very hot and now I'm getting quite warm in my room. It wasn't that the moment somebody mentioned furry, I started unzipping my jeans for some reason. Just in case like that completely got misconstrued. But yay and nay. So like furries is like I see it and I know it and all that sort of stuff and I don't really have an issue with it. It's not massively for me and like that's got a really mixed rap online. And when I did some like slightly humanized Pokemon stuff, just like playing around with it, slightly more Gajinka than furry, like that was a really mixed reception. So yeah, maybe, but like probably not going to go too heavy into that personally. But we'll see. You never know. And there's certain stuff that like is kind of always going to be a bit furry anyway. Like I'm going to do like a Red 13 picture, and he's kind of like got the mind of a human or a genius kind of dog type thing. There's all sorts of crossover, but yeah, like sexy furry stuff, not really my bag at all, unfortunately. Cyber Sekai says, hi, Mikey, admit that the real person you draw... the real reason that you draw female characters is because drawing 2 bulges is more challenging than 1. That's my excuse. Keep up the good work. Wow, you've just boiled genitalia down to bulges. That's just good. Delicious. Oh, read more. Let's click this thing. Sips tea. Shows less. Good. Let's have a sip of tea. Nico Seco says, hey Mikey. Hello Nico Seco, love your vids, thank you so much. So I want to ask you something now. I've been drawing for some years already, drawing around 4 or something like that, and I'm good at copying and I do my own original drawings with no problems. Oh, nice one, good on you. But sometimes I just rush. I feel like I want to draw so many things but I end up rushing and I mess up and I lose motivation. Oh my god, mate. Completely get you here. So my question is if it's normal to just rush whilst drawing sometimes because it's a little infuriating. Yes, yeah, man. Absolutely. So, like, I have, like, there's kind of 3 running projects always in the back of my mind, which I never have the time to do, but I constantly think about them so that they still exist as projects. I know that sounds mental until I get an opportunity to start putting pen to paper. But every now and then, I'm just like, I've got so much in my mind. I need to get it all on paper as quick as possible before I forget and really like get it out there. And it's a great thing to do, lock down ideas on some paper, even if it's rough and awful. That's what your sketchbook is for. But I know exactly what you mean. You want to bowl in and crack on and get straight to the good stuff. And it's not going to be perfect, and you just think, oh man, this isn't the way I was imagining it, or I'm not sure how I'm actually going to express what I want to have happen. Yeah, getting infuriated and frustrated with art is the most natural thing in the world. Getting infuriated and frustrated with anything you care about is the most natural thing in the world. So it's always going to happen, dude. But pace it out, work out different ways. If you've got an idea and you're getting really stuck into the drawing side or getting infuriated, what about just writing out a description instead? If there's a particular character design or a particular story and a plot that you want to make happen, you don't just have to draw it in order to lock it down for your mind to remember later. You can write it out. That's the only other idea I've got. You could paint it. Oh, it's just as much as drawing. Or just make sure like you're constantly talking about it. I don't know if you work with like writing groups or anything like that. But yeah, it is infuriating sometimes that you can't immediately put what's in your brain just like that immediately onto paper. And imagine if you could. That would be one hell of a superpower. Like all the kind of ideas for mangas and things you've ever had in your mind that you can just kind of go bang. Now it exists in real life. Boom. Like imagine if we could do that. We'd just all be creative like superstars. My Rustra says, hey Mikey, been subbed to you for almost a whole year now. Oh, awesome. Welcome on board. And you inspire me every day. Not recently, I haven't. I've just been uploading Final Fantasy 15 Let's Plays like a real nerd. Really need to help with the poses when it comes to your art. Any tips on upcoming tutorials you have planned? Yes. So we've got to round up the female tutorials. I've got a handful of male tutorials. And then after that, we're going to get into more abstract stuff. Poses, powers, materials, fight scenes, backgrounds. There is such a long list of things I want to cover in these tutorials, but really randomly, this particular visual bit that you've got to this DWM that I've just been messing around in Sketchbook, when I'm using that blue ink pen to get those poses down, you'll notice that I'm working quick, really quick marks, not keeping it neat at all, and not trying to get perfect. So when I keep talking about different ways to draw female anime characters in the more traditional tutorials that are usually out on Saturdays, I kind of talk about the building block method that I like to use. It's quite a common one used by loads of different people, like getting the circles and the shapes and measuring things. And that's fine when you've got to build up shapes to help you understand a character and a form. But once you've got that down, the next step is to not actually worry about that so much, so that you understand it and you know how everything works. What you then next need to start getting into is actually being really loose and quick with those shapes and forms, because you need to get some expression into your character and some movement and some poses, and don't be locked down and so rigid. So that's why I kind of blue inked pen, and they're only standing poses, they're not doing anything awesome. But I just wanted to blue ink pen some really rough guiding lines for the body and the weight and the poses that you probably noticed before I then layered on some black on top to make them characters, or at least play around with the concepts of where the joints are and the spine, and just work out the muscles of the leg and little bits like that. Keiko says, hey Mikey. Hello Keiko. I have 3 questions for you. The trifecta. 1. What is your experience with water paint? Watercolor experience, I would say, is medium to low, but it's one of my favorite methods of working with color, nonetheless. Like, I'm a big black and whiter, really, but I want to get more and more into color. And yeah, I love a good bit of watercolor. Like, I've done a couple art pieces based on Vagabond manga in watercolor, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that. 2. Have you watched anime Re-Life? It's a great show about a 28-year-old guy that gets another chance. No, I haven't. So let's just copy that. Control-C, goes into Google. Paste. Thank you very much. Oh, did he go back to school or something? I will have a little look at that later. Thank you for that suggestion. And number 3, what is your favourite tea? Sips some Linden tea. Well, Keiko, you got your answer to that question a little bit earlier. I like my PG tips. I don't hate it. That's why I'm managing to force myself to be good and drink it. But I don't massively love this green tea. It's just what I'm making myself do because I'm trying to exercise some self-control. Mikey sips tea back. Welcome, Keiko. As ever, Anthem, Death, Love, and Other Confusion says, hello, Mr. Mikey. Hello, Mr. Anthem. I'm doing character design and redrawing to get that consistent design. Yeah, well done. You've got to lock it down and build up your character from different perspectives and angles and really get them on your page. Will you please tell us how to draw flat chests, with large hips. My MC for my manga is a flatty with big hips. A flatty Bumbati, nice one. Also, you like to sip some strawberry milk tea in a coffee mug. Oh, wow. Strawberry milk tea. Wow. What? Wow. I can't even get my head around that. Awesome. And yes, we've done a small boobs tutorial. I haven't done a flatty Bumbati with Hippie McWhippy, but maybe we'll get something going in the future. By the way, those are definitely real life technical terms I'm using. Artsy Bunny says, hey Mikey, hey Artsy. I was thinking of starting a Copic Chow collection on Black Friday, but I'm not sure if I'm ready. I have a couple of touch twin markers, so I've experimented already. The total cost is about $500. Jesus Christ. Those Copics, man, they're expensive. I know they're popular. You do have it to spend, but not sure if you're ready to invest. And whatever you don't buy around Black Friday, it's going to cost a lot more. Yeah, that's true. So, obviously, I'm answering this question weeks after we've had Black Friday. So, Artsy, I'm so sorry I never got back to you. Did you buy them in the end? I'm really curious. And are they any good? I'm really curious. What do I do? Yeah, it's tough. Money and art is tough. I would actually suggest, honestly, kind of falls into the back of the other question now. Those Copic markers look so good. Like, you see so many famous mangakars doing their like cover art for them. Oh, hello. Text in the background. But what I would suggest is grab yourself, maybe this question's, maybe this answers for everybody else who hasn't already spent their money. Grab yourself a watercolor kit. Really, you can pick one up for like, what, £5-10, a good one. You don't even need a good one. You just need some watercolor paints, like a basic 10 to 12 colors and a brush and, you know, a cup of water and a bit of tissue paper. Because not exactly the same, but very, very similar. You get the same types of colors and depths and working ability with watercolor than you do with those Copic markers, by the looks of things, because I've personally never grabbed a set of Copics and had a go. Still waiting for Copic to get in touch and send me some stuff for free and I'll review it or something like that. Maybe I should email them. But I'd say watercolor is a much, much cheaper alternative. So I'd say grab yourself some watercolor, get used to painting like that. And if you really love the way it works and you love what it does for you, then you know that, yeah, maybe it's worth getting curious and putting a bit of money into some actual Copic markers or some different sets. Maybe don't buy a super massive set straight off the bat. You can get some smaller sets I've seen, because I've looked all over that Copic website. Like, there are all different types of sets. Maybe get a smaller set of the most common colours and work from there and just slowly build it up instead of committing loads and loads of money straight off the bat. But yeah, that's my quick answer to that. Start with watercolours. Make sure that type of material, that type of texture, and what it provides for you is your bag. Tim, Know Your Damn Business says, damn dude, fucking cool shit here, man. Kill Bill Volume 2. Yep, hated that movie. The fight scenes were garbage. They built up the ending fight with Bill, and only for it to end in under 2 minutes. R.I.P. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, and I really like Kill Bill 1. Like, I don't like it blindly, but that's an entertaining watch. And Kill Bill 2 is, like, tough because you definitely couldn't have fit it all into one film. Yet Kill Bill 2, there wasn't quite enough to make a completely separate film out of. It's really hard to get a head around. Like, if they'd made it 3 separate like TV episodes or something like that, but obviously with all the high production of a film, then maybe that would have balanced out better. I don't know, but I know exactly what you mean. Like, there wasn't enough movie in the second one. I felt it drag just as much as you did. Still waiting for Orihime and Rukia, brother. If not, then I'll toss out any character of High School of the Dead. Oh, those HOTDs. And Bleach ones as well. Yep, Tim, trust me, it's on the list. They are on the list, I promise. I promise. Spun Defiant says, you should grab a copy of Manga Studio 5, Stroke Clip Studio Paint. Same program, different names, not sure why. But its design of illustration is a focused and is really inexpensive. I think you'd find the process of digital inking a lot less painful using it than you do in Photoshop. Spun Defiant, thank you very much. One of my biggest bitches, and bear in mind, it's a bit of a first world bitch, like, 'cause I'm incredibly lucky to have like a tablet PC now and use Photoshop. But I find inking in Photoshop so impossible, so difficult, so many layers and refining you've got to do to get a good, clean ink style line. Photoshop's just not built to provide that for you by the looks of things. So yeah, maybe I need to have a little play with something like Manga Studio, because I do understand there that once you draw a line, it automatically makes it a little bit smoother and flowy. So yeah, I'm going to have a little play, Spun Defiant. Thank you very much for the suggestione. This episode is going to run a little bit, everybody. I do apologise, but I really want to just give you guys the respect you deserve by trying to just read as many of your comments and check you guys out as much as possible. Philip Hoyer says, hey Mikey, great art as always. Thank you very much. Keep it up. What are my thoughts on a live action adaptation of Ghost in the Shell? Now that a few clips have got out on the web. Hashtag hardcore crew. Hashtag mug of tea. Yeah, let's take a sip. Still doesn't taste any better. You know what? I don't know how to put it. I'm really not going to be negative about it. I really want it to be good. That Scarlett Johansson stuff, I don't care. I don't care anymore. All that stuff about like not using Asian actors, fuck it. I don't care. I'm not going to get angry about that. I really want it to be a good film. Live action adaptations of anime do not have a great rap. There's not a lot of great ones out there. And in the trailers, they made a really big thing of showing how very similar a lot of the scenes were to the anime. And I'm a little bit scared that was a big studio decision to placate all the anime fans. And that trailer might not be indicative of what the story is, or the rhythm might be completely off. And like, I'm really scared that the studio, in an attempt to make it really accessible to anime fans, has tried to copy the anime too much and maybe not made a good movie as a result of that. Like, we all remember what happened to Suicide Squad. They had a load of great ideas for separate characters and they mashed it all together without making a film out of it. Like, oh, God. And then, actually, no, let's not go on a rant. No rants about Suicide Squad. So, yeah, I'll talk about that in the other film channel that I've got rolling at the moment, which isn't kind of like live or up yet, so don't bother looking for it. But it will be in the new year. Another reason why I've got to take January off for a little bit, or, downtime January a little bit. So, yeah, I really hope it's good, Philip. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's probably going to be shit, because I really want to believe it is going to be good. I am going to go in with low expectations, however. Stephen Cabrera says, that awkward moment when Mikey's getting so can't get to your comment. C'est la vie. Oh, Stephen, I'm so sorry I missed it. But in all honesty, I'm happy to see you getting more and more recognition. So mega mega, cheers and keep on going. Hashtag hardcore crew. Yeah, it's kind of really awesome. Like, the channel's not like growing rapidly. It's not like one of those exploding out of nowhere types. It's a real slow burn. Get a few more subs every now and then, and we slowly inch up, and a few more people join all the different things. And having more people along is the coolest thing. It's really cool getting involved with you lot. And the only sad thing about it, exactly, Stephen, is that I can't read every single comment these days. That's partly why I've got this series, so that I can really see what's going on with you guys and take a little moment to sit down and answer some of your questions. But as this gets more popular, I can't even read all of your comments here. I can't fit it all in. So then I'm sort of random picking or just kind of scrolling down or trying to get the comments in different orders. So I keep mixing up whose I catch each time round. So if I've not read yours, do bear that in mind, guys. Like, I do love doing it. And in this particular series, if you comment in the DWM and I've missed it, then just get involved in the next one. Copy paste that comment. I will try to catch it. Nightwing says, hey Mikey, hello Nightwing. I've recently subbed to the channel because of your SAS girls. Wink wink. Thank you very much. Welcome on board. I will drag it out of the gutter eventually, this channel. It will become totes safe for everybody. You do see many mangaka artists drawing the hair before doing the face. Is that because they have more experience to do that, or does it make it easier or harder for a beginner? Thanks, mate. Cheers. Oh, it's all about preference, really. A lot of people who have a very particular type of image in mind might get the hair down first because they want a particular form, line, art, and shape, and then just get the face in. And a lot of other people like to map out where the features are going to be first to make it accurate, and then more organically let the hair appear afterwards. I am a face first. This is going to sound wrong. I am a face first, hair second kind of guy. But there are people out there who are a hair first, face second type. Which just leads me into a completely random question. A girl's got incredible hair but a medium face versus a girl with a very pretty face but shit hair. Who would you go for? And vice versa for boys. Same question goes to girls. And, vice versa for any LGBT people watching the show as well. You know what I mean? It's open to everybody. Rainbow. So, yeah. There are a few more. Oh, man. Oh, I'm scrolling. There's loads more. Oh, guys, I love you, but I'm so sorry. There's so many more. Aaron, Fallen Angel, Joe Noir, Casey Ellis, Colby Sr. I'm just trying to list you off to kind of satisfy you. Orky Gaming, so many of you people. I just can't quite catch all of your comments because there's just way too many this time round. I know that's my own fault. I've left this episode too late because life gets in the way. Thank you so much for bearing with everybody. So if I've missed it out, get your comment in the next episode like I just said. Come to the end of the episode. I've got so much to do. I'm not even allowed to go to bed yet. I've still got so much more work to get out of the way. But I hope you guys have a lovely week as we build up towards Christmas. I hope to see you next week. I'm going to do my very best to get another episode out for next Wednesday as well. Peace and love, guys. Take care.